Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Cask 529. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Shona. And tonight I have lined up for Bryan a single barrel Stagg barrel proof along with a single barrel proof Blanton's.
Awesome.
All right, are you ready for this challenge?
I am.
Okay, so we have straight from the barrel Blanton's that is proofed at 128. It was dumped on October 11th, 2023 from barrel number 551, warehouse H, old Rick number 31. And that's about all. Now it's bottle 103. I will tell you that the Blanton's is Buffalo Trace's mash bill number 2, which is considered their higher rye mash bill.
Okay.
So this one versus a Stagg store pick from Fry's out in Arizona, coming in at 133.4 proof. Don't have the barrel number or anything on there for me to share. Sorry, guys, it is a single barrel. And this is mash bill number 1, which is the lower rye, which I believe is 10% or less rye in that one, where the other one is 12 to 15%.
Now the Blantons we just got 6 weeks or 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. It was a special drop here in Ohio. However, the dump date on this bottle is October 11, 23.
Yep.
Okay. This bottle we have had for over a year.
Wait, you have to look at the little print, which will be a little bit hard.
Oh, you gotta look at that digitized number.
Digitized, yeah. Oh, there it is. It is also 2022. Well, I guess not also, but it was a
so
2022.
It's a little older. It's a little older bottle. We've had it for
since
a little over a year, yeah. So that's what we've got to work with.
Yeah. So this is a blind challenge for Bryan. I do know which one's which.
I also, before we get started, I just want to apologize to our viewers. I know we normally come to you on Sunday evening. Last week was crazy. We had a lot going on. I think we're all wrapped up now, and we're going to try to get things back to normal.
Yeah. We'll be back on Wednesday for What's in the Glen Wednesday, for sure.
What's in the Glen Wednesday? You're jumping right in.
I am. I'm excited for this one. You know, why I'm excited for this one is because before, when we first got the Stagg, we both were like, oh, it's hot. It's so hot. And we were like, oh.
Yeah, like it sat on the shelf and we didn't touch it.
And then just a few months ago, we finally had it again with some people. And I'm like, that's really good. Quit sharing that. And I forgot to give my nose what I was getting on the nose, so I apologize for that.
I didn't ask you. Ooh, is this blind? It is blind.
Yep, it's blind. You do not know which ones you're having. Now, I do know. I will tell you, got to go back to the nose. I was super excited just to get a taste of it, not gonna be, not gonna lie to you.
I should have had a little something to drink beforehand.
On the nose, I'm picking up some caramel, obviously, a little bit of spice, a little bit of a fruit note, and a little bit of tobacco. It's a very nice nose. The tobacco is really coming out for me now. On the first intake, I got a lot of heat, followed up with some spiciness. It's really kind of sweet on the finish. It's a very long-lasting finish. I got a little bit of notes of cherry, like the fruitier notes with like a black cherry towards the middle of it. Go in for another one because I kind of forget what all I tasted. What are you getting?
I do get sweet. I get sweet right up front, and it carries itself through. but it does definitely pack a punch with the heat on top of the sweetness. I'm not necessarily noticing a lot of char, but I do have the oak flavor for sure in there.
Yeah, a lot of oak on the finish. It's a nice subtle oak though. It's not overbearing or overpowering or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it is a nice flavor. It's not too strong, but there is a lot of it there.
Definitely picking up some molasses on this as well, with a little bit of that tobacco. I want to say a little bit of a leather note. It has a little bit of a funk like leather note towards the end with that oak flavor. Again, picking up the baking spices, the fruitiness, that little bit of a cherry note. Not like a really in-depth cherry note like I really love, but it's there. It's just underlying. Very good. A lot of proof. You can tell, obviously we got a 128. What was it? 128 proof and a 133.4.
So there's nothing but proof.
It's all proof. You're feeling it. There's no way that either of us would get this wrong on What's in the Glen Wednesday and say it was only 100 proof, because you're feeling the proof.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, you're not going to say, I don't know, I think that's only 105. No, it's all there.
It is.
Hey guys, before I forget, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Drop us a comment. Have you had these? What do you think of them? Shona shared with you guys what we thought of Stagg when we first had it. Did you guys experience the same thing, or were you expecting it? Because we weren't.
Yeah, no, we weren't. No, we do have a regular Stagg, not a store pick. It's just a regular release Stagg. I don't know what batch number it is or anything like that we have not tried. It's another one that we did pick up last summer. I am getting a lot of vanilla cream on this one. And when I say like cream, I don't know if it's like a vanilla ice cream or a vanilla icing, like frosting. When I bring it up to my nose, it's very, very vanilla.
I'm not getting that.
No. Mixed in with some spices. You're getting some baking spices and stuff. But a lot of good vanilla notes to it. It's fun nose. This one's packing a punch too.
It's got a lot of vanilla in it.
It does, doesn't it? So the nose matched. Very vanilla all the way through. I like that note. It's very smooth, it's sweet. It has some nice baking spices all the way through. Some caramel. On the end, I'm getting some char.
The proof in number 2 is more steady. Where in number 1, it kind of spiked.
Yep. And then
it went away. Not completely, but it faded off. Where in this one, it stays pretty even the whole way through.
This is, I truly like the nose on this. I like the nose on both of them. One, I'm just getting more of a tobacco, leathery type note. Where this one, I'm getting more of the vanilla. That sip, I'm picking up a lot of the spices on the front, and it's more finishing with the vanilla and caramel notes. A lot of subtle oak all the way through, some char on the end. Overall, a great pour.
I feel the oak is really similar in both pours. The biggest difference I get out of them is the proof. Like I said, it's a lot more steady in the second pour than it was in the first.
Right.
I need to try the first one again.
It's hard. It's hard when you are reviewing single barrels, because these are the single barrels that we have. And so you might get completely different notes and stuff
Right.
off the one you have, unless it's, the same exact barrel, which, I have found that Blanton's, I think we did it with Four Roses, they all taste just a little bit different when they're single barrels. And I can tell you, when we tried the Blantons out of that the other night, it was smooth. It was really good. Where sometimes I'm not a fan of the Blantons we have open. It's not that it's bad. It's just not. It's not as good as what I felt was in that.
Now that was a lot different than it was the first time.
Because you've already had the proof.
I didn't have the spike. It was a lot more steady proof. I felt it was a lower proof. I still am not going to say, oh, that's 100 proof. Partly because I know better, but it doesn't drink like 100 proof.
So, you ready to say which one's your favorite?
Almost.
Almost. While he's debating that in his head, just want to shout out to Whiskey Sippers. They called us out on their video today. The 5 bottles that are most important to them. So they called us out and asked us to do ours as well. So later this week, be looking for that video. We are debating on which ones are our 5 most important bottles. The most meaningful, which ones mean the most to us.
We think we've got it narrowed down, but we'll toss it around for another day or two.
Yeah.
And make sure, because they clearly put a lot of thought into theirs.
They did. So we will definitely have that out there by Friday.
I'm going to say, of these 2 pours, I like them both. Not as everyday sippers, but as a nice treat. I would say number 1 is probably my favorite.
Yep.
Actually, which surprised me, because after the first taste I'd have said 2. But the way 1 changed when I came back to it.
Yeah. I am the same as you. I'm leaving 1 in first place and 2 in second place. They are both very good. Obviously, they're harder to get bottles, so they're not ones that we would have as daily sippers, but definitely as a treat, I would be happy to have either of them poured for me. And we didn't say that about this Stagg when we first got it.
No, we didn't. We sure didn't.
Just because we weren't at that proof level yet.
We weren't, and we worked. I feel like we worked up through proofs pretty quickly for being brand new to bourbon, but we didn't elevate to that.
No. So, number 1 was Stagg.
Was it really?
It was. And then number 2 was Blanton, straight from the barrel.
Both great pours, and that's a great comparison side by side.
I would say the Stagg on just a 1 to 10 scale. I would rate that Stagg probably at 8.5, and the Blantons would probably come in. I'm going to say like a 7.8.
Yeah, I was going to say just under it.
Yeah, just under it.
It's
just under it, but Stagg definitely took it for me tonight.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, and like I said, the first sip, I didn't get the first sip. I was like, ooh, I don't know. And in fact, the first sip, I would have said that was straight from the barrel because of the way it hit. But then you come back and do that, and you'll find that on so many things that we have. The first sip is not necessarily accurate to what you're going to get out.
It's not, because the 5th or 6th sip in, the taste is changing and evolving.
And Mike and I talked about that on the live Friday night. I don't remember which bottle it was, but every sip we took over the course of an hour and a half was different. So I think, again, thank you for that. That was a good comparison. But I think that's all we have for tonight.
It is, yes.
And like I said, if you please hit that like button, subscribe button, and drop us a comment. Let us know what you think.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Be safe, everyone.